Meteorologist Jamie Singleton with you here on Facebook, and we're letting you know on the internet as well what's going on with the potential for severe weather starting to approach the area this afternoon. We have a couple of ingredients that have to come together just right. It's a matter of timing, but the potential is certainly there for some damaging weather today. We're warming up the atmosphere from this morning. We had some low clouds around, but temperatures are now starting to go up, and I'll show you the satellite in just a second. That's from below on the ground. If you go, say, 18,000 feet up and above, the temperatures throughout the day are going to be getting colder. That combination is unnatural. Colder air is supposed to be, it's heavier, it's supposed to be near the ground. Warmer air you expect to be above the ground. So it's an unstable situation. Now, that alone isn't enough for storms, but it's the fuel that's the potential for maybe some active weather. If we trigger that, if we drop a match in the fuel, that's when we have problems, and that will come as a very strong jet stream moves in today. And those storms will tap that jet stream energy, potentially sending down some very intense wind. We're not concerned with tornadoes, I don't think, but we're looking more in line of straight line winds that could cause some damage out there. And because it's that time of the year, early spring, and this cold air is moving in above, I'll show you that on the model in a second, hail is a good possibility in some of the stronger storms as well. Satellite picture, this is the infrared imagery showing you the Roanoke Valley here where you see the star. Notice our winds coming in out of the southwest here on the satellite, and that's clearing us up a bit for some sunshine. And again, it's kind of priming us when we get that sun out there to get more in the way of heat, and that interacts with moisture and again sets the stage for the potential for storms. This is the visible imagery. It's kind of a bird's eye view of what's going on from the satellite. Earlier this morning we had a little bit of a backdoor cool front move in from DC that had some cold, heavier air around. And if you're a fan of thunderstorms, this is not a good scenario. But what's happening is low pressure off to the west moving in this afternoon and this evening. We have a counterclockwise rotation with that. It's pulling up as we speak, warm and eventually unstable air as the sun comes up, and that will start firing off those storms as that low gets a little bit closer to the area. Franklin County, Roanoke, Botetourt County, looking at that as well. So a few sprinkles this morning in some areas of clouds, nothing too impressive as of this recording. We're around lunchtime right now, but I'm looking off to the west. There are already a couple of stronger lines starting to develop, and the system itself is kind of structurally stretched out, so to speak. So one area of concern would be the Allegheny Highlands into the Greenbrier Valley of West Virginia, Bath, Allegheny County, even in the Roanoke as we get into the early afternoon. This is because that area of storminess is going to move into an environment where it's continuing to get warmer out there, and I expect these storms to be firing up. The biggest threat from 3 to 6 is when they're going to happen would be those really strong winds that they'll start to tap into. As the clouds get taller in the sky and these storms start to realize that wind, we'll look at the potential for this to really scoot through the area. If it can survive the mountains, it could even make it through Franklin County and Southside by around 6 o'clock or so. That said, once that happens, the rain-cooled air could stabilize us some, at least Roanoke and north. And that would be a good thing because, as I mentioned, we have a second phase of this system that'll be coming up, and I'm going to watch this area off to the west here later on this evening. This will probably target Bristol, Abington, Wytheville, perhaps the New River Valley, because I think the rain-cooled air may hold us back a little bit from seeing it move too close into the northern sections of Botetourt County, but still some straight-line winds and some hail. Even with this scenario, this would be the grand finale that comes in from the southwest. So we're going to have to watch a couple of waves, I think, throughout the day, starting early this afternoon near the Allegheny Highlands and then progressing throughout the evening potentially, especially in far southwest Virginia. Here's another model that I don't normally show. I talk about it on Facebook sometime, but you can see the surface temperatures here warming up as we go throughout the day today. So where we see those breaks of sunshine, again, we're just warming it up there and adding to the potential for rising air, and that's what we create. That's how we create those showers and storms. Meanwhile, if we go up in the air, look at what happens. You saw it warming up there? This pocket of very cold air starts to move closer to Roanoke. Roanoke at about the time we're warming it up. So we're having those two ingredients come together just right, at least close enough to produce some very unstable conditions out there. The third final factor, and what will really get everything kind of going, we think, for the afternoon will be the jet stream, and it shows up on our water vapor coming right out of Texas. That demarcation line between the brighter colors and the darker colors here, that's it. And as that moves in, look at this computer model. Virginia down here, all right, or right there. The stronger wind is in the yellow and the red, and we go through the afternoon and look at that. It gets right over the area at those times where the temperatures are concerningly, prime for getting some bad weather. And because of the speed of this, as I mentioned, those storms tower up into the sky. They bring that high wind down. So a couple of very gusty, fast-moving storms that could potentially organize enough to get some large hail going in a few communities in the forecast. Well, beyond this, we look back to the west, and it's snowing. So across the New River Valley, not so much, but the Mountain Empire near West Virginia into the Allegheny Highlands will probably see a changeover to some wet snow showers by the time we go into, let's say, late Wednesday night into Thursday morning as the colder air wraps around. The rest of us blustery and windy behind this system for the day Thursday. If there's any good news at all, my pollen forecast has a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel here. It's been off the chart lately. It's still tree pollen very high for Wednesday, but I think with enough cloud cover and moisture and enough fresh air coming in behind the system for Thursday, that's going to lower, and then it kind of moderates back for Friday with a sunny day in the forecast. And so we'll go to our day parts now and show you that temperatures today will be around 77 degrees. Winds out of the southwest, 15, 25 miles an hour at times. Again, some of the storms today are going to be strong, especially early this afternoon. They'll last into the evening for a few more of us. It'll be warm in between those storms, and again, that's not a good thing in a day like today. Overnight tonight, it tries to cool off. I don't think the heart of the cold air is going to get in here until really Thursday. It may be one of those things where tonight's temperature of 54 is one of our beginning temperatures for the day on Thursday, if you get my drift there. So we're looking at still some evening storms, especially southwest Virginia and south side Martinsville. Watch out for that. Otherwise, just turning windy and partly cloudy, maybe some spotty showers around. And my 5-day forecast is going to, well, cool it off a bit for Thursday. You can see temperatures dropping there, but by Friday, a nice day with some sunshine building back into the area. Looking at a half and half weekend for planning right now. Saturday, ooh, 46. Mostly cloudy skies, just a cold rain in the forecast for right now. I do think we could salvage Sunday, so if you have any outdoor plans then, second half of the weekend. Keep it on Facebook. I'll be watching for any potential watches or warnings. So far, so good, but again, the afternoon could be dicey.